Guys, it's Lost in Plot. We're here with Yellowstone Season 4, Episodes 8 and 9. No kindness for the coward and no such thing as fair.
That's right. Welcome to the show.
Yes, I've made it. I've caught up. I've watched every single season of Yellowstone to be caught up with Season 4, and now, just like everyone else, I have to wait a week in order to watch the next episode. That part of it sucks.
So, we're picking up 2 episodes this time. We put it off a week, so wait and catch up, and now he's here to tell us. Let's start with the first episode, Episode 8, No Kindness for the Coward. And this episode was really about the bookends, the way it starts and the way it finishes. Now, the way it starts is set all the way back in 1883. It's a tie-in with the new series from Taylor Sheridan, which we said was awesome, and it's really good. So it's about the Dutton families when they first come up to Montana and settle in there.
That's right. Tim McGraw is there. He's reprising his Dutton role. It's a very serious scene that leads to what appears to be some dire consequences. So it is a big, rockety entrance into this episode, and the impact is felt there, and the impact is felt at the end of the episode, too, with some pretty impressive mayhem.
Yeah, the end of the episode is kind of this odd occurrence that comes out of nowhere. It's kind of like a deus ex machina, is the way I described it. Now, that is basically meaning you resolve a conflict, but with something just you pull out of the sky. Some kind of divine intervention kind of happens here. So this wasn't resolving a conflict, but it was really something that kind of came out of nowhere, and that there's this robbery at a diner that factors in very pivotally to the end of the episode. Now, it's a really cool scene, really cool sequence, no complaints about that. It's just the only complaint would be, well, that's kind of an odd thing to happen, and you only get so many coincidences. And I guess you could kind of stretch it in there to make some kind of logic for it, but those are the 2 pivotal moments of this episode, unless if you want to get into Jimmy's whole plot.
Jimmy
fills the middle.
No, that's all right. But you're right. This is an ending that definitely comes out of left field. I don't think you could make the argument that it's been foreshadowed properly or set up to the point where you could have actually expected it. But I also don't think it's a contrived way of resolving conflict. Instead, quite the opposite. This seems to be more of a complication, an unexpected complication that forces the characters to make decisions that will have reverberating consequences down the line. So that's what I would expect in order for them to get their mileage out of this scene, because it certainly impacts the Dutton relationship with local law enforcement to a significant extent. And in the next episode, we see a little bit how that plays out more. So I think this is a complication that will have significant reverberations down the line.
Yeah, it definitely does move things forward. So let's wrap this one up quick. Where does this one sit for you?
It's standard excellence for Yellowstone. It was an awesome episode. I'd put it at a 7 out of 10 because I was a little bit jarred by that ending, which I didn't quite expect. It seemed a little less like Yellowstone to me.
But they don't do it often, so I'm willing to give them some leeway.
It's true.
Credit. I had it a 7 out of 10 as well, so that episode is definitely alive. Episode 8, No Kindness for the Coward. So now we turn to the penultimate episode, Episode 9.
The penultimate episode. The season's almost over! I can't believe it! Well, there's stuff that is definitely brewing here. There's some major conflicts that are seemingly coming to a head. Opponents are eyeing each other up and determining exactly how things might play out in a very deep, personal, familial conflict that's going on between Jamie and the senior Dutton. But we get something a bit different in this episode, which is Beth, a usually unflappable character. She gets flapped. She has some serious rattles as a result of a deep personal relationship in this case.
Yeah, you're exactly right. This is something we don't typically see from Beth. So it's kind of a nice, unexpected conflict, some adversity that she's got to overcome. Usually she's kind of always tangling with these people, these market equities, and these corporate types. But this is something that hits very close to home and is very personal and kind of pierces right through to the core of her. So that was a really cool moment, and it's going to lead to, again, some very dire consequences probably in the next episode. Some things you can't get around.
That's right. And the rift between John Dutton and Beth is another good example of Taylor Sheridan's, we've called it before in other reviews, cowboy wisdom. Where they are at odds is in John Dutton's resentment of Beth's cruelty. Beth has strayed outside of the moral code. and this is a family that's used to fighting dirty, but she's crossed the line, which is interesting to show you exactly where that line is and what moral code that the Duttons operate by and how it's instilled by John Dutton on all of his sons and daughters.
And there's an excellent parallel here, and I'm not sure if you caught it, but there's a character that just got out of jail. It's been in jail for a very long time. And in this episode, we kind of hear some information about how Dutton probably put him there. Now, in this episode, there's another character that's facing a lot of jail time. And I think those two juxtapose because Dutton interacts with both of them. Kind of leads to his conflict with Beth later, and I thought that was really nice. It was something I didn't notice when I was watching it, but afterwards I thought about it. Just like, I can understand that. Like you say, it's kind of these things are not throwaways. They lead to character actions and character decisions.
Yeah, and I think he did a nice job contrasting those two aspects to shade the characters more and to kind of... It's nice when you see a reveal. What is the code? Where are the limits? How far will the Duttons go? What does it take to go too far? And how does a character like Beth, who's so fiercely loyal to her family bonds, get on the wrong side of things? And then once she's cast out into the cold, so to speak, how does she respond? What's her next choice? What's her next action? A pretty significant complication.
And what are the ramifications going to be for the ranch, considering how valuable she is to it? So,
with one episode left. With one episode left.
As you can tell, we are absolutely not treading any water here. Several relationships are reaching their breaking point. So this next episode could have a whole lot in store, and that's exactly where you want to be when you're about to wrap up your season.
That's right. High tension. You know, this is going on between John and Beth, which kind of makes it a little bit odd that Casey is off having a vision quest. That's going to have him... pretty much
is doing something
indisposed for a long period of time.
Correct. Casey is going through a lot of family changes with a new house and some other developments that are revealed, and a kind of vision quest with the reservation people, who's taking him on a wolf journey of some kind. That was kind of the bizarre...
A deeply spiritual journey at a point when other conflicts are really starting to bubble. It's kind of odd that he's off on his own.
Yeah, so that's what we have for Casey, and we still get a lot more with Jimmy, which is all leading down to what we know has been coming since this whole thing started.
What are you going to do, Jimmy?
His lady problems, and we're going to find out how that resolves itself probably in the next episode.
You know what it reminds me of a little bit?
What?
The Green Knight.
Really?
Yes. Where you see Jimmy is going to be faced with a lot of temptations that a lesser man who does not ascribe to a higher kind of cowboy code, much like the Green Knight, is going to fall into these pitfalls, fall into these traps, and fail in that type of chivalrous honor that he aspires to. And that seems to be...
Could be.
I see a big parallel between those two things. And now we're testing his mettle. Are you cowboy enough? Or are you not?
Could be. Now, I view them as he's got two ladies in his life, and both of them kind of represent two aspects of who he is. And I think, to your point, he's going to have to make the decision about, well, what kind of man am I going to be?
Jimmy.
Which am I going to choose? Or he might lose them both. Who knows? Anyway, where do you have this episode?
It's another awesome episode. I'd put it at a 7.
Yeah, I put it at a 7 as well. It would have been higher, but the Wolf Quest. I don't know what the hell was going on there, man.
Yeah.
Or where that's going. Maybe we'll get something interesting next episode. But which thread is most intriguing for you as we head to the finale?
Well, it had very much been this kind of behind-the-scenes conflict between John Dutton and Jamie and what was brewing there. But I'm sorry, whenever Beth gets rattled, that's such a big shift for such a pivotal character. It immediately draws all the focus. So that's easily the most engaging conflict they've got going for me right now.
Yeah, I'm on board there. Okay. Well, we'll be back next week to do the season wrap-up.
The season
finale and the season wrap-up for the 4th season of Yellowstone.
There you go, guys. If you're digging this season of Yellowstone, please let us know in the comments down below. Check us out on Twitter, like and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next one.